He really went to go get the hat.
It's a must-have.
Yes.
The fans demand it.
Yes.
Fans complain when Ed does not have his hat.
This is true. I think I got my microphone set up.
And that's why we do this. We do this for the people.
Goddamn right.
We have a duty.
I think I'm going to go looking for some new art.
I said duty.
Yeah, you did say dookie. All right, Ed, are we ready? Ian, are we ready?
Oh, as ready as I'm ever going to be, man.
Let's fucking do this shit. Welcome to the Sofa Kingdom podcast with your hosts, Nelson. Ed. What was that again? Ed. No, the one before that.
Ian.
All right. I know we're talking about the Sandman today, but
Sorry, I had some sand in my throat. You know? I went real fully into character.
yeah, today
some deep diving.
we're gonna do yes, exactly the right term, a deep dive into the Sandman. We collectively have seen this show and agree that it's a fantastic show.
Probably one of the best things, if not the best thing that DC has put out in forever.
I mean,
Yes.
it's another Neil Gaiman hit. Good Omens, American Gods, Lucifer. Pick a show. Everything he's written on everything he's written that's inspired shows has gone several seasons.
Yeah, so all you girls like watching Lucifer on Netflix and then, freaking out about it. Check out the Sandman. Same guy made it. Same guy made it.
What's interesting is that the Netflix adaptation steers clear of some of its traditional roots from the comics, which was largely based in the DC world.
Yep.
So, like, you'll get some changes within the names and in the confines of the TV show, but still just enough to, like, wet your palate and be like, oh, that's still Constantine or Constantine or whatever, however they pronounce
However you want to pronounce it.
Constantine.
it. Constantine, yes.
Yeah.
And
Also, there's going to be some spoilers in this.
Oh.
If you have not seen the show yet, I
Correctamundo.
would advise you to not
Yeah,
watch this
it'll be
episode.
interesting to see what he
I
does.
agree.
As,
Spoiler alert.
But
the
send it to your
maximum.
friends that have
Yeah.
seen it.
Yes.
As he goes forward, it'd be interesting because as he said in interviews, he's leaned more into keeping the characters that are in there multiple times, that are in the story versus the one-time appearance that's nice to have because you're in DC.
Right.
So I'm sure there's other characters that pop up multiple times that may point out much more that it does actually take place in the DC universe.
Right.
Well, it's definitely a show that when Ezra Miller gets out of federal prison, he'll have an easy time getting a role.
You mean Club Med Rehab?
Well, yeah. Whenever he gets out of wherever he is,
I'm
he
sure
can
they-
seamlessly transition directly.
He's
into
very sorry.
Yeah,
he's very sorry.
They
I'm
can
sure.
find
I'm
a
sure-
role for him.
I'm sure that is not a publicist statement
Of course
that
not.
came out as the
Yes.
apology. That was absolutely from the heart, handwritten
Yes.
by Mr. Miller himself.
I'm sure they them wrote it themselves. I'm sure.
They, them, there did that.
Coined it. Yeah.
Which way? But
We feel your apology.
he could
Ezra.
probably play all 7 deadly sins. I mean,
He could.
he embodies them as we speak. So I mean, it makes sense that they still haven't completely scrapped it yet. That fucking boggles my brain.
At this point, I'm probably going to watch the Flash movie just to see
just
to watch
to
it.
see how good of a movie is it if they are holding on this tightly to that movie to not get rid of it.
Here's a thought: just completely blur his face. Just
He's so fast.
yeah, he's so
He's
fast.
so fast. that
You never
can't-
get to see his fucking face.
I mean, I kind of want to go see Aquaman 2 in the theaters just to see how the crowd reacts when Amber Heard has her 2 minutes of footage.
Ooh,
I think that.
Do you think it's going to be a boo?
hilarious?
Yes,
Yes, I could see it be a collective
I see
boo.
if you watch it opening night in a
Yes.
packed theater, I
Yes.
see the crowd collectively. They love Johnny so much. I see
Yeah.
it being a collective boo.
I tell you what, we'll
I
go
don't know,
watch
man.
it. We'll go watch it. I will start the booze.
yeah.
I'll join in.
Let's do this.
I'll join in.
We're gonna go in with the said purpose of starting a boo.
And I say-
in the movie theater when she comes on.
And I say we go dressed as Captain Jack Sparrow.
I like that. I was gonna say
with
like
a sign
like
that says "Boo Amber Heard."
Amber Heard with like like the Ghostbusters like
Yes.
cross symbol through the. That could be okay. All right,
That's good. We're
I'm
going
down.
to support.
Okay, all right. Let's jump right back in
The Sandman.
to the Sandman.
Can't lose focus.
I can't. Gotta stay on point, guys. We got this. So, let's talk about some of the likes before we get into, I guess, breaking up the show into episodes and stuff like that.
I mean, I'd like the whole dark feel of it.
Yes.
I think that we were talking about this a lot off air, but I think that DC's found their niche with this.
Yes.
They need to go the darker route, and that's what's gonna save their product.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
I agree.
you cannot. They tried the comedy thing.
Right.
It falls flat. Justice League, the Whedon cut, whatever, was not funny. They tried. It was actually the worst attempt to use comedy in a superhero movie I've ever seen.
Yeah, because they were forcing it, and it was.
And it was bad.
Right.
Particularly the Ezra Miller Flash, like little
Yeah.
snippets he was throwing in.
there
That
were-
was terrible.
There was another show that had sparks of darkness that was great. It felt like another version of Supernatural, which was Constantine.
Yes.
With I don't know if it had 1 or 2 seasons, and it was really good.
He only had the one, and then he got moved into Legends.
I
I loved
then
the
they
movie.
Destroyed the character.
I love the movie with Keanu
Keanu
Reeves.
Reeves. Oh,
He's
that's
even
fantastic.
confirmed he's going to do a second one,
That would
Nice.
be great.
which they have to. I mean,
Yeah.
he nailed that product.
And I think you're right. Lean into the dark for DC. You don't have to be funny. You don't have to follow what somebody else is doing. I think you can go your own route, and people will still love it.
I believe they're resetting everything, and they might be resetting it off the Black Adam movie here. And I think Greg Berlanti, the guy that did all the DC TV shows, is one of the guys they got building up like their 10-year
So
plan.
he's like their Kevin Feige.
That's what they've been looking for. They've been looking for a Feige for their properties. And at one point, I think it was going to be what's his name that did all the hero movies that all worked. Jesus Christ, I can't think of his name right now.
Not James Gunn.
James Gunn.
James
There
Gunn,
we
there you
go.
go. Yeah,
I
so
think they were
he's
going to
good.
try to use James
Right.
Gunn at one point, but then his name got all cleared up. So
He's-
he's bouncing back and forth between both sides.
Oh yeah,
Listen,
Marvel and DC are fighting over him. They're like,
I
hey,
love-
come back and do
I
Guardians
love
of the Galaxy 3. No, wait, we need
everything.
you for the next season of
Peacemaker.
John Cena, Peacemaker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love everything he's
He's like,
got his
guys,
hands on.
come on, guys.
He's
guys,
amazing.
Don't fight over
He's
me.
amazing. He's the golden boy.
I know
when it
I'm
comes
good.
to
Don't fight
superhero
over me.
movies.
I mean, they wait and delay the opening of projects just for him.
Sure.
So clearly, everybody likes what he's doing, and they all want him.
When it comes to putting comedy in your superhero movies or your shows, he's the dude, man.
And it
I
doesn't
mean,
feel
Peacemaker,
forced.
I loved it.
It doesn't
loved
feel
Peacemaker.
forced. It feels like it's deliberate, but it also feels well placed. Like
Yep.
because when you watch the Peacemaker, like there was comedy, but there were also like touching moments. There were disturbing
And
moments.
there's like layers of comedy. Like you're laughing so damn hard that you miss the next thing you should laugh at because like it's just nonstop.
So
John
be-
Cena's fantastic.
It'll be
in that.
interesting to see what they do with the Shazam
Sure.
and the Black Adam movie. If they can take that tone and kind of bring it forward, and the same thing with the Peacemaker, and try to follow that route that way.
They're gonna try to do a lot though, because they're gonna have to introduce Dr. Fate, and Pierce Brosnan's a fantastic actor.
Yes.
He can definitely add a lot to that role, but they're gonna throw in Hawkman. I mean, there's gonna be a lot going
The
on.
Atom. I seen the Atom, and I believe I saw the Martian Manhunter
Yeah,
in one of the.
See that
trailers.
makes my heart drop a little
That
because I'm
was
like that's a
one of-
lot to add.
That was
Like,
one of the things I had said. It's difficult to introduce that many characters and do it in a way where you feel like you have the character.
AKA the
Ja-
Justice League.
James Gunn does it excellent. I mean, look how he did it with Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
He managed to get everybody
Weasel.
in there, and everyone
mean-
was like, "We got it. We know who everyone is."
The Weasel is my
Weasel,
favorite
right.
character of all time.
As soon as I saw him, trying to eat himself in that cargo plane, I was like, I love this.
I mean, how much did we pay to get the actual Weasel right here on the podcast with us today, wearing that hat?
We never aired that episode with the Weasel.
Actually, Margot, come on back so we can do the Weasel thing right. All right, so the Sandman, dark it was, but delivered well. Like there were themes throughout the show that like they touched in dreams on the dreams as a whole. There were some beautiful aspects to it. There were some menacing aspects to it. There's some really dark aspects to it.
A lot of what the fuck moments.
A lot of
like
because
I'm uncomfortable moments.
yeah, but when you're in a dream state, when you can't remember little things of your dreams, there's always like what the fuck moments in your dreams personally. I think I know for me, I don't know.
Particularly the
about you.
particularly the diner episode fucked me up,
my
man.
God.
That was disturbing.
yeah,
that got very uncomfortable.
The whole thing was like it was like part acid trip, part Quentin Tarantino.
It just
scene. It was like
slowly-
uncomfortable.
It just slowly got more and more uncomfortable until it really, like, that last 15 minutes was like, the fuck am I watching?
But it delivered.
There was-
delivered.
I made it a point recently because I like The Northman so much. I'm watching Robert Eggers movies to see, try to dive into his head. And then last night I watched The Lighthouse.
How was it?
That fucking diner scene was literally like the entire movie, The Lighthouse. It was just like, oh my God, what is happening? What is up? What is
I
down?
could get behind that. I'd like to watch that then.
That William Dafoe and Robert Pattinson are fantastic actors, and I have more appreciation for them now after watching that movie. But Jesus,
Robert Pattinson plays the Crow in this show, right?
no, that's Patton Oswalt.
That's Patton Oswalt. He's actually, according to the creator, he's actually in the suit.
Yes.
Yeah, he's wearing the actual Crow
Crow
suit.
suit.
All
Yeah.
practical effects.
Yes, and I mean he is
That's
short
a good job, Patton. That
and
was,
pudgy enough to play a crow, so I can definitely
he's got the Jack Black build.
see that going on. And I have to say, the creator of this whole comic book series, Neil Gaiman, he's a national treasure. I've only seen one interview with him, and I think he's fucking hilarious. He's got his own crazy little genius to him. He reminds me of who's that other guy that made the original Batman and the
Tim
Nightmare?
Burton?
Like a Tim Burton.
He does have a Tim Burton
kind
feel
of
to
character,
him.
but much cooler. Like Tim Burton was like the misfit that nobody liked. That once he made money, he's kicking his boots through walls in Disney.
I always felt bad. I always felt bad for Tim Burton. I always felt bad for the guy. He was married to Helena Bonham Carter, who was like an eerie, attractive girl. She was basically in all his work. She was in Sleepy Hollow. She was in Harry Potter as whatever Bellatrix Lestrange.
Okay, all right.
But like,
the one with the crazy hair?
Yeah.
Okay,
And Fight Club.
all right,
And Fight
okay,
Club.
all right, I get behind
But
that.
it was infamous.
I
Like
can get
everybody
behind
knew. Everybody knew that his wife would cheat on him every movie she was in. Like it was like when she did whatever movie with Johnny Depp, she was sleeping with him. She supposedly slept with Brad Pitt on the set of Fight Club. It's like, Tim, Tim, say something.
Okay,
stand up for yourself, Tim.
But to be fair,
and there's little Tim Burton just like, okay,
if somebody
Helena.
cheats on you, right, and you're like, but who's she doing with? They're like Brad Pitt. You're like, I mean, it's Brad Pitt.
Hurry up and come home. I want to go down.
Did you ask her for an autograph? Hurry up and come home.
And at a certain point, it's like, and you're still putting her in all your movies?
Yes.
I think you like it, sir.
Yeah, no shit. The whole way up to Sweeney Todd.
Yo,
the whole way up to Sweeney.
Is he the original cook?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. He was probably directing them.
He's a cuckologist.
Exactly, yeah. Now slap her in the face with it, Johnny. Okay, back to the Sandman.
Yeah. He's in the back with his stop motion animation dolls, like, go get him, honey. Bring me back an autograph.
But supposedly Neil Gaiman, though, supposedly he's a G. Like apparently when this season came out, there was a lot of like backlash, fallout. My brother told me about this, Shay. So this is a little tip from him.
Nice.
He said that like people were critiquing and saying shit on Twitter, like, oh, there's all this gay stuff in the show, blah blah, it's super gay, and like he would tweet at individual people.
Yeah.
Like if someone would say something like, oh, this season's really gay, he would tweet directly at this person and say like, well, I wanted to make it more gay. I was gonna try to CGI a picture of your father's face on a couple of the kids. Like he would directly attack, and I respect that.
Amazing.
Anyone that takes time out of their busy schedule to shit talk,
And it's like grow up already, right? Like we live in this world, we all got to share it together. We all have differences. Like it didn't feel forced, right? Because that's my only like.
If you're a fan of the properties, the original IP, the comic, and you didn't enjoy the show, I don't get it.
Right.
Because the show was amazing. The casting was fantastic.
Yes. It was
spot on.
Everyone was perfect. And I love even in one of the interviews where people were complaining that, oh, he gender swapped Lucifer. He goes, well, Lucifer was non-gendered.
Yeah.
Any gender you put on him, you're gender swapping him. He's supposed to be non-gendered to begin with. So it doesn't matter. It's just, can this person play the role that was written on the page and bring it to screen.
Absolutely.
And I think their casting, that was another thing that I'd like to bring up, was fantastic. It was spot on all across the board.
I loved it.
Down to
the
Desire.
whole way.
Desire was the creepiest.
Bro, Desire was the most gender fluid thing, they, them, I have ever fucking seen in my life. And I think I pissed off Sierra with the person I was watching it with. Cause I was really saying, I was like, I'm not gonna lie, that role is confusing me right now. And I was like, I consider myself a straight white man, but I'm not taking that off the table. I'm just saying. A couple micheladas on Tuesday, shit. Better keep they them away from me. Keep them away. Keep Desire away from me.
And then Ezra Miller just runs into the room.
No, not Ezra Miller. Ezra Miller's a dark.
Let's make it a party.
Hey, that's a dark fairy. Fuck that. Ezra Miller can keep that shit. I'm good. But Desire, hey, call me.
All right, so let's talk about it, right? Jumping into the first episode. Let's start with the first episode. I liked, number one, the pacing of the show.
Yeah.
I thought the pacing of the show was great. And the first episode, I think, sets the pace of the show nicely. Like, they're like, we're going to tell stories. They're going to be individualized. Each episode felt like it kind of had its own, like...
Its own short story.
Its own short story. But then it also had a backstory that was carrying through.
Each was almost each one contained while still overarching, telling a whole story that connects them all.
Yeah, you knew there was like a big agenda behind. Like, it's like, okay, I got to get my mask, my ruby, my.
I mean, a lot of them, you had a character that was just in the one episode, where you're introduced to this character. They're pivotal, absolutely pivotal to the episode and to the story, but you don't see them anywhere else, and it still holds up in a way where it's like, that's just solid.
Mm-hmm.
And the main character was so well developed. It's like Morpheus dreamed the endless. It's just like, in some ways, he can be absolutely fucking terrifying.
Yes.
And then in other ways, it's like, oh, he seems like he's a good guy, and he might have a human heart. Like, in, he with Rose Parker, he's like, I don't want to take your life. But then, like, in the earlier episode, he put a man into a state of endless nightmares. I'm like, that is horrifying. That's like something up Lucifer's alley. That's dark, man.
He has the remnants of, like, an old school king, right? He considers himself a lord of his plane of existence.
Yeah.
And he does act accordingly. He's like, I am fair. I am just. There are even times when he's disciplining his own people where he questions it. Like, was I just in this? Do you not feel that was proper? He always felt like he had an obligation to his role as the Dream Lord.
Yeah. Like when he needs a little bit more power, so he has to kill a pet gargoyle for these two beloved guys. But then in the end, he ends up giving them an egg.
Yeah, he finds another egg along the way, and he's like, oh, we'll just...
The Lord giveth, but he taketh, he taketh away.
Taketh and then giveth. They swapped it around there.
But
rest in peace,
I
Gregory.
thought that was really dope. That, like, you've seen, because when you deal with dreams, like the way that they really arched the story, there's dreams and nightmares.
Yeah.
And I really even like the way that he portrays what his nightmares meant to him versus the Corinthian, what he thought the nightmares were to him. He wanted to embody this living nightmare.
Went to Earth and became a serial killer for 100 years and then was responsible for all the serial killers. Like, literally influenced them all.
And Dream is telling him, like, your responsibility as Nightmare is to scare people into doing the right things.
Yeah.
And instead, you have become this nightmare in a way that you embody a nightmare and you're encouraging the human race.
He's like, you're supposed to show them what they fear and give them a place to confront it.
Yes.
So in the waking world, they could be more.
Right.
And instead,
not be the poster boy for murder.
Yeah, you're just straight being fear.
But to be fair, when you have teeth for eyeballs.
But then look on the flip side. Look on the flip side of what Galt. Like, Galt was a nightmare, but grew tired of scaring people and didn't want to be that.
Yeah.
She desperately was just aspiring to be a dream.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But then, in another moment, we see one of the flip sides of the main character, Morpheus, banishes her to 1,000 years in the shadow realm.
Yeah.
Right.
But then,
because just for wanting to be something else.
But then brings her back way early and gives her the ability to be a dream.
Right. But
in that moment, we didn't know that. When he made her disappear, that episode, I was like, "You're a fucking dick. Yeah. Like, you're a dickhead. Like,
but at the
you're not cool in my book anymore. You're
at the end of the day,
but he did question, like, you seem to be thinking I made the wrong decision here.
He knew he did.
He is a lawful character. Throughout the show, he made it a point to be like, there is just a way things are done, and we are going to adhere to the way that things are done. Like, even to get into hell, they're like, Patton Oswalt in a suit was like, hey, listen, man, why don't we just sneak into hell? He's like, no, I am a lord of my realm. I go through the fucking front gate. And I loved who they brought to play the gatekeeper. You guys recognized him, right?
That was the Martin Ford.
Right?
Martin Ford from England, yeah.
Yes, he was the guy.
The world's scariest man.
He got there because of Brad Pitt killing him in Troy.
Yeah.
No, the guy he killed in Troy was Nathan Jones.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's not the same guy?
No, Martin Ford is the world's scariest man. He's the one that they want to box Hafthor Bjornsson now.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
yes.
That would be dope.
If you Google a picture of fucking Martin Ford, I knew when he walked up, I was like, who the hell is that? It can only be a number of people. Well, the first person I thought was Nathan Jones.
Okay,
that's the first person I thought. And then when I saw it, I was like, wait a minute. I was like, the melon is different. I was like, it's an English show. A lot of English actors. I was like, that's fucking Martin Ford.
Okay,
that is Martin Ford.
Yo, wouldn't he play a great God of War?
Martin Ford.
Like, he's got the build.
Anything scary and horrific.
He does have the look for
He
it,
got the look and the build. When I seen him, I was like, bro, he looks just like the God of War.
He should just play a giant in God of War.
You do know, I believe Teal'c is the voice from God of War, actually.
Really?
That actually plays Kratos?
No
Yes.
Boy.
shit.
Yeah.
Boy.
Okay, I loved Teal'c in Stargate, by the way. I thought
fantastic.
he was one of the best warrior class characters in all of sci-fi. He reminded me of, like, he was Stargate's version of Worf.
Yeah.
In the show. It was kind of
the episode I enjoyed the most, I think, from this season of Sandman was I liked the relationship he had. I forget the name of the guy that he met in the bar.
Yes.
And he gave
that was a fantastic episode.
Yes, him and Death had an agreement, and he said that you ever heard the guy talking? Oh, I want to live forever.
Yeah.
So they gave him his immortality,
Yes.
and he meets him in the bar every 100
years
to see if he still wants to live. And even on the years where he was like homeless, ass out, like plague everywhere, he was like, "Of course I want to keep living." Like, what the fuck? Like,
he's like, "Do you know how hungry a man can get when he can't die?"
Yes, I'm trying to look up his name. What episode was that in?
I forget, but I loved it. Just and even like in the 1989 when he was there, you could feel like
and
the
he had
heartache.
the cell phone and everything. Yeah.
And then when they met back up, I was like, "This is awesome!" Like it was a legitimate friendship, and I was like, "This made me feel warm."
His name was Hob Gadling.
Hob Gadling.
Yeah,
yes.
there was like he came back, he was rich. He came back, he was poor, and he's starving. He came back, like he kept.
He lived a lot of lives.
There was the one time when he's like, oh, he's dealing in slave trade. He's like, I can't believe you would do that. He's like, now you're giving me advice after 300 or 400 years. He's like, consider it. Listen, man, when a motherfucker that gives you immortality says, consider what the fuck you doing, you consider that shit.
Right. Yes.
And rightfully so. He wasn't a bad man, but what was cool about it was like he was always a product of his time.
Yes.
Right? So it was like, and people forget that, like when they go back and they want to use like cancel culture these days, like they go back and they're like, well, the Dukes of Hazzard. It was like, well, that was a product of its time.
Yep.
Watch
like,
Archie Bunker.
Exactly. Right.
That was on like primetime TV, like 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
And the things that we've learned as adults is that like when you ignore the past, you don't learn from the past. So it's like you have to leave some of those things as reminders.
If you pretend it never happened, it's doomed to repeat itself.
Yeah, absolutely. So I really like how very thoughtful and insightful the show really was, deliberately, and I think it really has to do with the writing behind the original Sandman comic book. So I really did enjoy the show on a lot of levels.
Yeah, the dark graphic novel thing. It's kind of, it gave me a reminder or a throwback to like Frank Miller and Sin City and 300 and the stuff he did. Like,
because it was in the 80s, mid 80s, early 90s when that comic was out, and in that era was a lot of
so Frank Miller was writing his stuff.
Experimentation that was going on with the comics. Writers had a lot more freedom to kind of just.
The Watchmen was earlier than that, wasn't it? The Watchmen was earlier than.
I forget when.
But that's another great graphic novel. That's DC.
Yes.
Yeah. That's DC.
Yeah. And that's where, like we said, DC needs to find that lane and stick into it.
And it's not comedy. Let
No.
Marvel have that.
Yeah.
Let Marvel have it, and you stick to what you're good at.
I'm sure DC has plenty of properties like The Watchmen, like Sandman, that are in the DC universe, but they don't need to be so hard connected into the universe that they could tell the stories of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
While they reset telling their main stories of, the Justice League.
Sure.
Like that whole thing kind of does need to be reset. But in the meantime, something like Sandman is fantastic.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
one thing I'm worried about is, like, I guess you told me that they're recasting Henry Cavill
yes.
as Superman.
Yeah.
That's going to be a
he
tough
might
one.
be getting a role in Marvel, I
Yes.
believe, is what
Oh,
it is.
no.
They were looking to
man.
fit him into Captain Britain's role,
Yeah.
which could be interesting. But I think, as cool as that would be,
They should give him a bigger role.
it's a waste of Henry Cavill.
He's such a good actor.
You know what I mean?
They need to put him.
He
at
might
this.
not want a giant role either because he's still doing The Witcher, and
Yeah.
he may still.
He loves The Witcher too.
and
by
he-
the way.
Yeah, he's
and
into it.
and he may still want to do Superman.
Yeah.
Like Ben Affleck, even though they keep saying he's out,
Is in.
he's in.
Yeah.
He's got some scenes in Shazam, I believe.
Yeah.
So
He was gonna have some scenes in
Like-
the Batgirl woman,
yeah.
or the Batgirl movie that they canceled. He was
Yeah.
supposed to be Michael Keaton. Batman was supposed to be in there as well.
Yeah, so I know Henry's had a lot of issues where it's creative differences. He has an idea of like this is what we need to do to shift Superman, and I've seen him talk in interviews, and I 100% agree with kind of his idea of like this is what we have to do to kind of steer the ship from where we are to where it
Correct.
should be.
Oh, he does such a good job of voicing or championing the energy and the opinions of the fans.
Yeah.
And when he reads the source material, like it's one thing for Superman where like there's so many different versions of him, but like with The Witcher,
Yeah.
he's read all the stories. He's beaten
big.
all the games.
Yeah.
And like he was even famous for being on the set, and like the director would try to do something, and he'd be like, "Geralt wouldn't say that." Like he pretty much told him, he's like, "No, like, I don't know if you read as much as I have, but Geralt would not say that. Like, no, I'm not saying."
And
that
there's
line."
something to be
Like,
said
so,
with
I mean,
his
there you go.
leadership on the set for The Witcher and how successful the show is.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
so
sometimes
and
you
the
got-
second season was like, oh my god.
Sometimes you
got
gotta
to
let the people that are leading the way that way do their fucking thing.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like James Gunn is another one of those guys. So it's like, hey, let the man do what he do. This director for the Sandman, clearly his influence and his input is what was part and parcel to the success of the show on Netflix.
Yeah, Neil Gaiman had a huge influence on this one. He wasn't quite showrunner like he was with some of his previous things, but he was more involved than he was with some other. So he was somewhere nice there in the middle, which helps when you have the original creative mind
Sure.
and
There.
vision behind the whole thing,
Yeah.
keeping it and kind of guiding it.
So, going back to the first episode real quick, I think the reason it felt a little maybe slow for some people, but the reason they took their time with him not even having like a speaking role is they wanted to show everybody just how stubborn this motherfucker
He
can
sat
be.
silent
200 years.
and said like 2 sentences.
Word. And the guy was like, hey, listen, I'll let you out. Just promise not to kill us. And he was just like,
I ain't promising shit. I ain't promising
I ain't
shit.
saying shit to you, motherfucker.
But I-
you gonna let me out? I'm a motherfucking dream lord.
But I tell you what, he was in all of his interactions, he was very short with most everybody, excluding his older sister Death,
Yep.
who he was very candid with. But almost everybody else down the line, he was very, very like, no, it's this. That's
Right.
it. We're not having a conversation.
Which I also love the casting of Death because it's like the creator was saying, he went in a direction that like every other thing when they make Death, you think cold, creepy,
Yes.
like threatening.
Yeah.
He went in like a warm, comforting, like up, hey, you died, hey.
I thought it was
we
dope.
gotta go.
She was a beautiful girl to cast for the role, and she really delivered like an elegance
Yeah.
to dying.
She did such a good job of welcoming the people that they did not realize they were dead.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
They're like,
interesting.
"Oh, what are you doing here?"
They're having
shit.
they're having like a whole conversation, and in the interim of the conversation, it's a quick little, "Hey, how you doing?" and then ushering people off at the same time. It was done so well. It really was an excellent episode.
And that one part in that episode where the baby.
Ooh,
That, I mean, this show brings out emotions in you that you did not expect to feel, and you're just like, oh shit.
Yeah, she's like, we can leave now.
Yeah.
When I was like, I
was like, I can shut the show off.
Oh
my god!
If you like that kind of like depiction of death, there's a show called Dead Like Me.
Fantastic.
I don't know if you've ever seen it.
Nope.
It's another one of those shows where it has a lot of heart, has a lot of humor, and it deals with death.
Yep. Toilet seat girl.
And they're all reapers. And like what happens, like if you don't go into heaven right away or to hell, they kind of put you in limbo. And when you're in limbo, you are a reaper.
Oh.
And you have to take the souls of the dead. And your responsibility is to usher these people into the afterlife. That's a very good show. So if you haven't seen it, it's a little bit of an older show, but I think it still holds up very well.
All right.
Dead Like Me. It's like 4 seasons and a movie to end it. It was really, really good. So back to episode 1. I liked what they did with it. The role was taken slow. They were showing the Dream Lord and what he was very, very capable of with his stubbornness, and that he could stay there. And as soon as he had a chance to get out, he fucked everybody's world up.
Yeah.
And I thought that the actual season was going to be him going after all of his things.
And he had got
this motherfucker got him in one episode.
And like the first half
yeah.
of the series, he had got him. You're like, what is he going to do for the next 5 episodes?
Yeah.
Like, he's got a long way to go.
Yes.
And it was really like so much more that they did manage to squeeze in there that I didn't even expect.
Yeah, they didn't waste time getting to the point, which was very nice. The pacing was good. What do you guys think about the fight between Lucifer and Dream?
That was so different than what I was.
Yeah,
I never read the actual source material. I know of it.
Yeah.
Because it's
Same.
very,
I've never
it's very
read.
famous,
I've never read the Sandman.
but I had never actually gone through and read it, so I didn't see that coming as the fight.
Yeah. I thought it was cool, though.
It was an interesting way to do it, because I'm like, when you hear, okay, the Lord of Dreams is about to fight Lucifer, like
Yep.
the Lord of Hell. I'm like, well, this is going to be a damn slugfest. isn't
Right.
it? And then the way they fought, it was kind of like their powers, but they were also using wits.
Yeah.
And it was sort of like a game that was preset. Like,
Yeah.
and
because they know that they're just so powerful that they can't die.
I also liked Brienne of Tarth's little "I am the dire wolf" thing they threw
Oh,
in there.
yeah, that was
I was like,
all right,
okay,
yeah.
all right. Thank you for that little Game of
Slow
Thrones
down.
fans. I love, like, all right. That's a little homage to us Game of Thrones
Yeah.
fans who are probably still watching the show. Okay, got it.
Yeah,
All
no,
right,
it
got
was good. But yeah, the way that they fought, it was like, oh, how do gods fight?
And they
Yeah.
just kept going up. I mean, it's like, I am a supernova. I was
Yeah.
like, oh,
What?
shit. I was like, all right.
And they were feeling the effects
Yeah.
of the thing that they were dishing out. What I
Yo,
loved is when,
Dream wasn't looking good there.
Yeah,
I was like,
no.
oh, dude, that's not good.
when he flipped it on her, though, she had to take a pause.
I
Yeah.
am hope.
Yeah, oh, she was like, what?
He's like,
what?
And I was sitting there thinking, I'm like, what stops hope? Oh, you can't.
Right?
You
Yeah.
fucking can't. Like,
He fucking G'd the shit out of her.
you
He's
can
like,
try to break hope, but you can't.
he's like, Patton Oswalt, get my coat.
Right. And Lucifer knew too. Lucifer was like, you son of a bitch. After I hit you with a supernova, you hit me with hope.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
But I liked that. I liked the fight scene. I liked the whole aesthetic of hell.
Yeah.
Like some people were like melted
Like
into
everything,
the trees.
everything was
Bro,
like
that
made.
were melted
that
into the
gate
gate.
was
Wow.
not good.
Yeah, everything was essentially made of people.
Yes.
What the dude hand him at the gate? Like the wall like
The-
came alive.
Oh,
It was
the little gong.
yeah, like ugh.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Oh,
The
I-
most fucked up is where was he hiding that gong? That stick was pretty large, bro.
what was the name? It's hell.
I
You know,
didn't
you know
see
where
it.
he had it.
I didn't see
You
where
know
he
where
took
he
it
had
out of, but
Also-
he was gray. The stick was gray.
Also, what was the name of Martin Ford's character, the demon?
Martin Ford's character.
The giant dude that let him in. It was I want to say bloat or what? Float.
Ooh, don't remember.
Not sure.
Let me
Let me see if I can find it.
It was a really disgusting name. And I was like, oh, man. Like, that's the guy you want guarding the gate. Okay.
Yeah, they don't have him on.
And when
the
they
main
lost him in the
list.
woods, like the trees were all fucked up. The trees had people
Yeah.
like melded into them. I was like, this is and like you think of hell, it's like fire and brimstone.
Yeah.
This was more like cold, barren.
Yeah, that was
ash.
hilarious.
Like-
It was like they make you bring your own fire to hell.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, also touching on the two main characters, Lucifer and Mazikeen.
Yeah.
Same names of the characters depicted in the CW show that went into Netflix.
Correct.
Lucifer and his
Yeah.
homegirl
Yeah.
Mazikeen.
Very loosely based
also
off
like-
of Neil Gaiman's work, that show as well.
Yep.
I also like the Disturbed cover album that was Azazel.
Yeah.
He's like a bunch of faces in a rift.
Yeah, he
Bro,
was.
The
that was-
generals of hell demand
was-
action.
he
Yo,
was-
that shit was.
I was like,
spooky,
all
bro.
right,
I was like,
okay.
all right.
Yeah, he was the Disturbed guy multiple times
Multiple
over
times
in a shadow.
Yeah.
If you look at every Disturbed album, that's the face that's on the
That's
cover
awesome.
of it. I was like, okay, well, there's every album of Disturbed is in that rift right there.
They did it right.
And
They
also,
did it
he
right.
was talking to Lucifer. I mean, I'm just saying, he's supposed to be just a hell lord, but he was talking to Lucifer with some disrespect.
They were
Yeah,
they were talking as the union of hell, basically.
Yeah.
They were like, we're unionized generals. You may be Lucifer, but there may be some overthrowing if your
Yeah.
Morning Star ass don't show
yeah,
up.
you still don't want a rebellion in hell.
No,
Yes.
no. But
The
that
revolution in hell will not be pretty.
that could be so it's going into the next season, right? You got Lucifer versus Dream. I really want to see
Lucifer's
where
yeah, it's gonna be the big bad.
where Dream's brother
Destiny.
Destruction? The one that's
Destruction.
missing?
no, not the one that's missing.
Desire?
Have we met him already? Desire. Okay.
Where he's gonna
Desire's gonna
try
side
to
with
fit in.
Lucifer. Desire's a dick,
Right, but he seems like a Loki kind of
or
character.
maybe not a dick. I don't know.
He
We don't know.
he may be mad that Lucifer's stealing his thunder. You know what I mean? Like, and he may be like, if anybody's bringing Dream down,
Well, Desire.
it's me. Bitch.
I think Desire knows that can't square off with Dream or Death.
Yeah.
Like they have to do underhanded shit,
Yes.
like bang a girl in a coma to have a dream
Right,
kid
yeah.
that's a vortex that can.
It seemed
possibly-
very, very fucked.
You'll
up.
see. You'll watch.
Yeah. I mean, they're the twins.
Yeah.
So he's really not as strong.
But
without
are they?
Desire and Despair.
Desired
Are they really twins?
loosely. They're not identical twins.
I maybe
They're
at
more
one
like the
point,
twins
maybe
like
at one
Arnold
time they were.
like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito twins.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
Despair kind of fell off the wagon, you know?
She is the wagon.
Hit, yeah.
I'm glad that they made her keep her clothes on, because in the comics,
Yeah. I did not
no
want to see
clothes for
Yeah.
that
No,
one.
I mean, I'm not going to yuck anybody's yum, but I didn't want to see that actress.
I'm yucking it,
I didn't want to see
double
that.
yucking that yum.
And then when she started hooking her face, I was like, okay, we're
Yeah,
done here.
man.
We're
Oh
done.
man, please don't hook your face over
Yeah,
here.
please, we don't condone face hooking at Sofa King podcast. But no, I thought they did a pretty good job with Hell.
Yeah,
I think when they said like going forward, that's going to be the thing we have to worry about. And even Azazel said in the rift, he was like, we're confined to Hell, so we have to expand the borders of Hell
Yeah.
into other realms.
It's fucking sick, bro.
Yeah,
They're gonna go to war with the Seven, and now there are 7 endless characters. There are various different immortals and beings from the landscape of the Sandman.
and we've met 4 of them, right?
We've met 4 of them. One had disappeared. They
Yeah.
discussed
We haven't met Destruction,
Or-
Delirium,
Or Destiny.
or Destiny.
or Destiny. Yes. So I think that was cool
And
too.
no one knows where Destruction is. Destruction saw
He's
shit
on his-
coming and went like, I'm done.
He's
I
on
don't
his
want
own
to be
path.
associated with this.
Right. And that could be a cool way to like, hey, the 6 are fighting off hell. God, how do we get through this? And then Destruction punk ass shows up at the last second, like, all right, fine, tsunami, earthquake.
Destruction
hell
looks like he
on
could be
Earth.
Chris Hemsworth.
Bro, that
saying.
would be cool.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
The character that they showed, like
Yeah,
the
he
beard, the
he
long
was a big old lumberjack.
Yes.
It could be Chris Hemsworth.
I can see that. Or Chris Hemsworth's brother, maybe give him a little shot.
Yeah, give him a shout out.
Yeah, shout out on some steroids.
Trying to keep up with your brother there.
Yeah.
So technically, if that was his brother in Thor: Love and Thunder, does that mean like that's the middle brother? Is that like, or the maybe I don't know, because there's Chris, there's Liam who was dating Miley Cyrus.
Right.
Who's that guy?
I don't remember the other one. Is there another one?
Oh, he played the dumpling in Thor: Love and Thunder.
Oh God.
What was the name of that character again?
Something Bo. I don't know.
Quetzalcoatl or
Oh,
something.
no, Quetzalcoatl wasn't the dumb dragon.
No.
Quetzalcoatl is like a
Aztec
dragon.
god, yeah. Aztec thunder god,
yeah.
yeah. The Aztec thunder god.
All right, so let me ask you guys, right? Based off of this show, do you have any reoccurring dreams that you've had? I'll tell you guys mine, like that I've had since I was a child. It's fucking weird, and I'm not gonna get too crazy into it.
I'll get crazy, man.
But I always dreamed that I'm like a last person surviving in a planet where everybody else has been turned to robots. And I'm like looking for desperately for another human being to be left alive and running from the robots my whole dream. I always wake up in like a fucking panic too.
that
You
is-
need to stop watching Terminator Director's Cut.
That is every episode of the Cybermen on Doctor Who.
And but I've had this dream like for years, like since I was a young kid to an adult, where like every so often it rears its ugly head. I wake up, I'm like, fuck you, dream. And then I'm like, babe, are you still a person? All right, cool.
Nothing
I'm
really.
gonna have to bleed you real quick.
Nothing really specific, but like I know like people always have dreams where they fall.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have those a lot, but I have dreams where it's usually a horror related dream. It's like it'll be a scary scenario, give or take, whatever, fucking zombies, werewolves, whatever horrible nightmare I'm having, something always hits me from behind. And I feel the force.
Yeah.
Like I'll be like, I remember the one time it was like a World War Z type scenario. Like they're outside the house, everybody was inside the house, and I remember like I heard people screaming, and all of a sudden like I saw the zombies outside the compound like running real quick. I was like, oh fuck, they're getting over the wall or whatever. And then all of a sudden like from behind it was like a Ford F-150 hit me. It was like boom, like so I'm guessing a zombie hit me or something, but they ran into me so hard. I mean, like in your dream you feel the force.
Yeah.
So I wake up in my bed like, like I'm fucking sweating. I'm like, fuck, I feel like I just got punched in the face. Like
Those dreams are pretty wild.
they
though, right?
are.
When
you wake up in shock.
startled,
like, you're like, oh my god.
or you wake up just feeling a very specific way. You don't quite remember your dream, but you wake up like. Sometimes you just wake up like mad. You're like, I hate. You look at somebody like, I don't know what the fuck you did to me when we were sleeping, but I don't like it.
I've cried out in my dreams before. I've cried out, and then I wake up, I feel like a bitch. I'm like, oh man. I'm like, it's a dark house, and I'm screaming.
You're like, gotcha.
I hate it.
What about you, Ed? Any reoccurring dreams or nightmares?
I had one when I was a kid for a couple of years, and it was actually the fucking basement.
Boiler?
Yeah. Yeah, and it would be navigating my way through and getting all the way to the back where the storage units were.
Yeah.
And then having to find the right door as the escape. It was like, which one? And this is like all the storage for all of the units above. So it's like 25, 35 doors. And it's like, oh, nope, don't want to go in that one.
Right.
Oh, not that one either. And it's like one door at a time, trying to find out where's the fuck.
Bugs Bunny episode. Like,
Yes, yeah.
Or the Matrix. Was it that happened?
Yeah, that
Oh,
whole
yeah. The key maker.
Yes.
Oh god, what was the Chinese guy's name with the white suit? Oh my god, the guy that was
Shang-Chi?
No. He was in charge.
Shang-Chi.
He was in charge of guarding the oh my god.
Donnie Yen?
It actually wasn't Donnie Yen. Who was it? It was. Was it? Was he in the Matrix?
I don't think so. He was.
Who the hell's the name of the older black lady that knows everything? The
Oracle?
The Oracle.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
There was a program, the Seraph.
Yeah, there we go. All
Yep.
right.
Yeah, the
yeah,
Seraph.
yeah.
Okay.
He wore a completely white Chinese kung fu outfit, and he was in charge of protecting her.
Okay.
Which is why he sparred Neo
Yeah,
to
the
find out he
Seraph,
was who
he was a badass.
Essentially,
He
he
was.
was an angel.
Yes. Yes.
He was in charge of protecting her and keeping everything away from her.
All right. So, all right, if you had to choose, and you can't pick Dream,
Why not?
if you had to be one of the 7, excluding Dream, which one of those powers would you rather have?
Okay, so not Dream.
The only one of them that seems to be happy is Death. Like, she seems to be the only one who's like found the slot that she's supposed to be in and understands it and accepts it and is happy.
So you're choosing Death.
I'm gonna pick the one happy person.
Right. So Eddie would like to be the Reaper of Death.
There you go.
All right.
I think I might go with Desire.
Yeah, I knew you would, motherfucker.
I
knew you would.
They or them.
No,
they or them.
You can't
Seems-
leave
they
with
seem
Desire,
happy-
bro.
They seem pretty happy too. they seem pretty happy. I mean,
right, they're content with their
they
own
just like
evilness.
to fuck around. I mean, hey, that'd be me. I'd be like invading people's lives. It'd be a giant orgy.
I don't know.
Hey guys, come to the fuck tower.
Their
you
best
have to be partnered with.
Their best friend is despair.
Okay, so I gotta hang
How
out with
happy are you?
Listen, so every now and then I gotta give a pep talk to a fat depressed chick. Okay, fine.
Not
That's
every
fine.
now
That's
and then.
fair.
Listen.
From now for all eons going forward.
Okay, so I gotta make a phone call every day. All right, I
I
can
don't
do
know.
that.
From the looks of things, he gave her more than a pep talk.
I don't know.
Those are kissing cousins.
Yeah. Well, hey, that's like from my county up north.
Those
so we're
hills
good.
have eyes, bro.
Hey. That's right. Now I'm gonna fuck them.
All right, I would go with the one that we haven't seen but we heard about is Destruction.
Destruction.
Yeah, because I mean, look, the man leaves to
You're gonna shirk
do
your duties?
artwork, shuck my duties, and he has a talking dog. Who's better than him? Nobody knows where the fuck he is. Like, I've been dying to be like, you know what? Fuck this job. I'm moving to an island. I'm gonna just wax surfboards for fucking, pedestrians to come and vacation and chill with my talking dog.
So that's the one that's missing then. Destruction.
Destruction is missing. Yeah.
yes, he's one of the ones.
So
yeah,
you saw the
because-
Atom Bob coming, and he's like, they don't need my help destroying themselves.
Yeah, because it seems like Destiny, although they say Destiny is the one to outlast all of the Endless at the end because he sees and knows everything. He is the end all be all.
Yeah. He seems like he's not allowed to interact with anyone other than like the
The book
Endless. Yeah.
and the Endless. Like that book is chained to his person all the time. That seems like a pretty lonely, abysmal way to spend your eternity.
You already know everything.
Yeah.
There is no surprise. There's no
I know
entertainment.
everything. I know everything. So I know how that feels for him. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'll explain to you guys later.
Okay.
But
I hear you.
no, but like it feels like that's probably the saddest of all of, like, even Desire's having fun.
Yeah.
Despair at least has desire to have fun. You know what I mean? Like everybody else seems like they have a purpose besides which was it Calamity? The other one that was mad?
Delirium.
Delirium.
That seems like those two probably have the
Yeah,
shittiest of
Delirium was
time.
supposed to be like joy and sadness.
Yeah, mixed
and
in one.
moved into essentially insanity.
So they're all D's, right?
What-
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, got it.
Yeah, triple D's. So, but it's but at least Delirium, because they say like when you're insane like that, you kind of don't even really realize
You don't
you're
even
fucking
know.
insane.
I mean,
Yeah.
the fact that Delirium's world is so out of sorts that other eternal beings go crazy if they go to it is a little unhinged. It's like that is a level of power.
Sounds like a party.
That's
Oh, shit.
insane.
Yo, you guys keep this going. I got something for you.
We got. What are you doing? This has never happened.
All right, so I believe the show actually it was the first volume, which is I think the first like 8 comics, and then a part of the second volume. But there's like 74 comics I think altogether.
In the Sandman?
I think there's 74 issues or something like that. So I mean, you got several volumes to actually go through.
So they got content.
They have a lot of
They got
content.
content.
They got a lot of
There's
content.
a couple seasons here if they get the green light.
There's quite a few that they could go to, and that's notwithstanding him finding the freedom to expand more, like he did with some, like the diner scene, where probably like half of that scene doesn't take place in the comic.
But he built upon it for the.
Yeah, to make it work, they had to build upon it a little bit.
Jesus God. What is this?
All right, guys, check it out.
You know, I have like good stuff to drink and.
This is our 50th episode, so I figured we deserve to have a little shot here. So everybody grab yourself.
Oh, I can smell it from here.
What is it? What is it?
It's just vodka.
Oh, okay.
It's just Tito's.
Oh, Jesus.
Gentlemen, 50 episodes. Yep. Nice. And we're still talking shit.
To 50 more.
Woo!
All right.
Good shit, guys. All right, listen.
Tastes like rubbing
Oh, yeah.
alcohol.
I feel that was good.
Oh yeah. I can feel my molars.
So
Christ.
to wrap it up, okay, guys. What would you like to see happen in the next season? What would be one thing you'd really like to see as a part of the story arc? Characters coming in or leaving, or
I think
what
it
would you
was.
like to see?
I think I was fairly surprised with each episode going through, because not knowing the comic because I never read it, but I have seen other bits of Neil Gaiman's work. He does tend to have the ability to kind of surprise you and take it in different directions than you anticipated it plausibly going. But you do have a couple of loose ends. You have the baby that was born in a dream that was made real.
Yeah.
You have whatever the fuck Desire is doing, because it doesn't seem like Desire was done with the plan. It seems like there was another step
Just
or
getting
two
started.
already running along. You got Lucifer gearing up for war, and you got Dream, who's maybe 1% moved on from being a completely stubborn, does everything his own way
Yeah.
type of person. It's hard to think of where they're leaning on next, but I imagine the baby has to be addressed pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that baby is supposed to be.
Baby's not supposed to exist.
in-
no, that's a good.
in the waking world.
Baby's not supposed to exist.
Yeah, and
The
he
dream
did
baby
say-
conceived.
I will come for the baby.
Yeah.
He did.
So I don't know what that baby is considered. But
Rumpelstiltskin.
you have,
Another dickhead move by Dream.
but the granddaughter and the brother are both endless. So they're at least demi-endless. I mean, they were born to a human. So I mean, the expansion of the endless family line is now up by 2.
So that's something you want to see is what's going on with the new endless. How powerful are they really? Where do they fit into the whole cosmology of
Yeah,
it all?
because
or
they
the
seem
whole-
to be they're pretty well canon to be immortal. It seems like. So how immortal and how powerful? I think you can.
Where
get
are
a-
their limits?
Yeah, I think you can get.
Where's the end
You could
to
get
the
a
endless?
pretty good hint based on a demi-endless character and what they're capable of.
Got
What
it.
about you, Ian? What would you like to see?
I'm simple, man. I just want to see a full nude scene with Desire. I want to see what's going on there. I want answers, damn it. We can't find it on the internet. I want you to give it to me, Sandman. Give it to me.
God damn it!
Full frontal, don't pull no
I
punches.
thought you
dare
said
you-
Desire, not Sandman.
How dare you?
Now,
steal-
he's calling out Desire
How
and
dare you-
Sandman.
I want a full nude scene with all of them. If I can put the spare in there. Just take full nude episode with Desire. That's what I want.
All right, now
It's TVMA. Don't skimp on me.
keeping it all in the family.
Yes.
now in Stranger Things, what was that famous song that they played with the guitar?
The
Master
Metallica
Puppets.
Metallica
Master of
song.
Puppets. I want to see that same character come into this next season with his guitar.
Eddie.
When hell is fighting with the Dreamers, right? And they're fighting and just fucking bring him in for no reason at all, right on top of somebody's fucking.
And have Eddie just playing in the realm of dreams
Oh,
as hell invades.
Fuck yeah, bro!
Okay,
I'm in.
I'm for that.
That's what I want to see.
I'm for that. I can get behind that. I can get behind that.
Hey, you know what, guys? It's been fun. We're going to keep coming at you guys with some more podcasts. We got some special surprises this year. And Eddie, bring it home. Thank you for joining us here at the Sofa Kingdom podcast, where you can find us on all your social media platforms on.
Sofa Kingdom, OFC,
And you can find us on YouTube at
Sofa Kingdom Podcast.
Ian, take it away.
Like, share, put us out there. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube. Send us everywhere. Tell people about us. We're here.
And don't forget to send Andy Estevez
Yes.
pictures of your hairy ass.
Yes. Andy Estevez. He's a firefighter. He loves hairy ass pictures.
Please DM him
Yes.
at Makushar.
Or just comment on his public page. He likes that too.
Yeah, oh yeah.
He doesn't hide it. He's open
Yeah,
about
he
it.
definitely loves it.
All hairy ass all the time.
That's his motto.
He's got it tattooed on him.
You're never gonna try out that pizza oven.
No.
No, at this point we've given up.
Yeah, no. Oh no, he's written us off.
He already
being
had
allowed
it.
to
He
come
had it.
to his
He had
house.
it. We weren't there. We missed it. Our invitation wasn't in the mail. Oh, that was good.
We sent him actually I sent him like timestamps when we were talking about him on the last podcast. And he sent me an Ian like, fuck you guys.